The US is buying back their debt at record numbers, but what does that mean for everyday people like me and you? There's a lot of big things that could be shaking up the market happening right now, or potentially about to happen. We'll definitely talk about it, but let's talk about what we know so far, and that's in the first half, the first 6 months of 2025, the US dollar has declined 11%. You heard that right, y'all. 11%. It's the steepest decline in 50 years. And that's why we're always looking for ways and opportunities to invest so that our money can be working for us. Many of you may be just confused right now about what I just said. And what's pretty much happening is in the first 6 months of the year, you have lost your buying power. What you could buy with $100 in your savings account 6 months ago is now 11% more expensive. If you have all the money in the world, it doesn't matter. But if you're budgeting and you're crunching numbers and you're trying to invest and you're trying to find ways to save, this is very important. This is important for the everyday person, for the everyday investor, because this is money that we could be putting to work versus losing, right? We're losing the ability to buy more. And that's something that we need to be paying attention to, and that's probably why they're saying, that's probably why the government's buying back the debt. It's to curb inflation. They're trying to get ahead of inflation so we get this soft landing. And I'm not sure if we'll get there, but it's an attempt. I think that as a government, we're getting very strategic on how we bring in money, especially with this new H-1B visa. I was never really aware of this visa that cost $1,000. But if you didn't know, some of the high profile companies like the Googles, Microsofts and such, they hire the best talent around the world. And before it would cost $1,000, and now we brought the price up $99,000. I don't know how this is going to really affect all these companies, especially if we're invested in them. Sometimes you need to wait for Trumpito's plans to play out because he just kind of announces things and sometimes they're not fully. I've heard one thing that some companies will be grandfathered in, but then I've heard that everybody's paying the buck. This is going to be a huge chunk. Will it benefit the American people? I'm not sure. Will it create more jobs? Like, are these companies going to be forced to pick up lesser talent, lesser qualified talent in the United States? It's an interesting perspective, but I love that we're using it as a way to bring in more money, right? We're going to be bringing in a record amounts of money, and I really do feel like we're moving like a mob. It could potentially hurt us. I hope it doesn't, but the mob stories never really end well, especially now they're talking about the crypto reset. We're using stable coins to kind of reset our debt. Many of y'all, please be careful with any stable coins. If it's not BTC, Ethereum, maybe like a XRP, Solana, do your own research always, right? BTC pulling back. I'm looking for buying opportunities in BTC and Ethereum. I'm looking for Ethereum under 4K. So if y'all see that, just know. Ooh, big news in the United States. This news right here has been haunting for the last year and a half. TikTok, finally, we've come to an agreement. Oracle Corp, along with a man named Silver Lake and another man named Andreessen Horowitz. I'm sure these people are very important in the financial world to be able to make these type of huge purchases. They will acquire the U.S. version of TikTok for 80%, leaving ByteDance, the China company that actually owns TikTok, as the minority holder with the final 20%. This is a long time coming, and I think that the government's excited for sure because they just took over some IP, or licensed some IP. I think we're going to learn a lot from it, but I'm a little worried that the creative community is going to not benefit from this, all right? There's a whole new algorithm for the United States, supposedly a whole new app, so we're going to have to all re-download the US TikTok version. Oracle, the company, is set to, being in control of the data. So I'm sure they're going to be making back end money off of the data. It's supposed to be safer data, more privacy, different algorithm. That's what we're getting. And I think it could work, but if the creators are not winning on the new US TikTok app, it doesn't work. It's just, if it becomes like a money play or like a just more business oriented versus just creator oriented, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose here, and then it's gonna be interesting to see like what a iPhone with the Chinese version of TikTok gonna go for in the US. Like, what would you pay? Would you pay $1,000 for that? You know, like it's kind of like a jailbroken iPhone with apps that you can't normally reach. What would you pay? Let me know in the comments. I'm just generally curious. Also, let's talk about Facebook recently showed off the new Meta glasses, man. I thought that was super cool. And I thought it was super real that Mark Zuckerberg kind of malfunctioned. He didn't malfunction, but the glasses malfunctioned during the live presentation. He was trying to show the glasses picking up a phone call. Like, I just think that the AI glasses has evolved so fast. And it's beautiful to see that there's still errors, that they're still working to perfect it. And it just kind of lets me know how great it's going to be. I'm actually mad that I have eventually I'm going to have an old generation of the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. So I feel like I need to upgrade. Like, I want the Oakley joints already. Like, I'm excited. I don't know. I also seen, I guess Facebook's just a company I've always wanted to invest in. I just never really got to get in because it's an expensive stock. It's not like a cheap stock to buy. So that's the reason why I haven't got there. But let's also talk about some serious news that can definitely impact the market. And that's this Taliban and Trump talks. So if you didn't know, 4 years ago, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I'm still, I don't really be into the politics stuff, but I'm into it when I know it's going to affect the markets. 4 years ago, we left the air base in Afghanistan, just emergency leave, and we left all the military equipment on that base there, right? Taliban took over the base. Now, that was under Biden. Now, under Trumpito, he wants the base back. So I guess he put the call in, letting them know, like, we're trying to get back over there. And they're sitting around like, hold up, trying to get back over where? The reports are saying that they said that they're willing to fight for the next 20 years to keep that air base. And I never like betting on war. I know our economy generates a lot of money during war. Government makes a lot of money during war. Jobs are created during war. Our soldiers are fighting during war. So I never like to bet on that. I'd rather bet on the economy going down versus betting on war. It just never sits well with me. So I'm always just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't like betting on it. But Trump said some very, very interesting things that kind of like you have to pay attention. And maybe that is right. The market went down a little bit this week. He said that we want it back. He's talking about the airbase. And we want it back right away. If they don't do it, you're going to find out what I'm going to do. Mob talk. Mob talk. Mob talk. He also followed up with a social media post. This is the age we're in. Trumpito followed up. He said, if Afghanistan doesn't give Bagram Air Base back to those that built it, the United States of America, bad things are going to happen. And he put bad things are going to happen in capital letters. This could really tank our market, y'all. A war with Afghanistan could really tank our market. The way that they talk, and they talking real greasy. No one's scared. Both sides are crazy. We moving like the mob, and I do think that Trumpito's been ready to push the red button, whatever that is, whether that's mental, physical, war. I do think with Afghanistan it will be physical. And, like I said, I don't like betting on war, so I don't even like talking about it, but I do think it's very important for all of us to know, investors to know, this will affect the markets. Absolutely. This will affect everything. It could bring in a buying day, but it just wreaks disaster. And, we like to stay away from disaster. And I'm going to highlight this because I made the call and I told y'all Lululemon wasn't a falling knife. We ain't go out of this world, but we're still at a limit right now where it's like we're making some money on this play. I told y'all at 164, at 160, 159 was the lowest it hit. We at 173, so I, pats on the back for that gain. I think that we definitely need although I will share my losses. I got plenty of losses I could share to y'all. And as we go forward, I will start to share the new ones, the new plays, and how we doing. This was a win for us. Lululemon, Athletica was a win. It was a great call near the 200 moving average, below the 200 moving average. Now there's a new low of 159. So I'm excited for that one. If anybody else got in, not because of what I said, just by doing your own research, let me know where all the Lululemon stockholders at. I need to see something. Let me see if y'all in the comments where y'all at. Y'all here? Just checking in to see who really made something on that play. If you did, shout out to you. As always, I always tell y'all, do your own research. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. Don't listen to what anybody on YouTube is saying or what you're reading on Twitter, X. Do your own research just to make sure you're making the right decision for your money, right? The goal is to make money, buy low, sell high, and that's what we're going to keep doing. I appreciate y'all watching SHINANCE. Again, we're growing. Shout out to the new subscriber. We just got a new subscriber. I'm excited. I'm here. Let's keep learning. Let's keep sharing some stocks that we're looking at. As always, don't forget, like, subscribe. Let me know how y'all feeling in the comment section. Just say what up to me. Check in. Drop your stocks in there. Until next week, let's keep investing, y'all. And just beware. We're at an all-time high in the market. Check in.